Have you ever felt like your voice didn't matter because it wasn't perfect? That even when you had something important to say, the fear of speaking in another language kept you silent? This is the story of Arjun, a quiet, kind-hearted boy from a small town in India, who was afraid of speaking English until one moment changed everything. Arjun was 16 when he first realized the power of English. It wasn't during an English class or from a textbook. It was when he tried to help a tourist who had lost his way near the train station. The man kept asking, "Where is the main road?" But Arjun just stood there, frozen, the words circling in his head but never finding their way to his lips. He wanted to help. He knew what the man was asking. But his tongue felt heavy, and his mind, blank. Someone else came along and gave directions. The man smiled and left. Arjun didn't. He walked home that day with a storm in his chest. It wasn't just about English. It was about being invisible. He had something to say, but no confidence to say it. At school, English was taught like a math problem. Memorize, translate, repeat. Speak only if called upon. If you made a mistake, there was laughter. And Arjun had made many. So, he stopped trying. He stopped raising his hand. But the words never left his heart. He loved English, its music, its rhythm. He listened to English songs late at night, with a notebook in his lap. He watched movies with subtitles, rewinding them over and over until he understood every line. But still, he didn't speak. Until one day, a new teacher arrived. Miss Eliza. She had bright eyes, wild curly hair, and a different way of teaching. On her first day, she wrote one sentence on the board: "Mistakes mean you're trying." She looked around the class and said, "If you can speak broken English, that means you're fixing it. If you wait for perfect, you'll never speak at all." Arjun's heart raced. He had never heard a teacher speak like that before. That week, Miss Eliza gave them an unusual assignment. "Tell me a story," she said, "but in your voice. Not from a book. Not copied. I want to hear your world." Arjun panicked. Speaking in front of others. In English, he almost didn't do it. But that night, he looked in the mirror and tried anyway. He told the story of his favorite memory, climbing mango trees with his brother in the summer. At first, the words were clumsy, falling out of order. He stumbled, but then he smiled, and kept going. The next day, with his paper shaking in his hands, Arjun stood in front of the class. His voice cracked, his grammar slipped, but no one laughed, not even once. When he finished, Miss Eliza clapped softly. That, she said, was beautiful English. From that day, something shifted. Arjun started speaking more in class. He still made mistakes, but he learned from them. He began talking to himself in English at home, describing everything around him. He recorded voice memos, pretending to give speeches. He even started a small YouTube channel called The Silent Speaker, where he practiced his English by telling stories from his life. One day, he received a comment that said, "Thank you. I was afraid to speak English too, but you inspired me to try." Arjun stared at the screen for a long time. He wasn't just learning English anymore. He was helping others find their voices too. Years later, Arjun stood in front of a large crowd at an international youth conference. He was invited to speak on language learning and confidence. Dressed in a crisp shirt, his notes in hand, he looked around and smiled. He took a breath and said, "I used to be afraid of English. I thought my accent, my grammar, my words weren't enough. But then I realized, confidence isn't speaking perfectly. It's speaking even when you're scared. It's trying, failing, and trying again. It's believing your voice matters, no matter how it sounds." The audience applauded. Some were crying. And at the back of the room, Miss Eliza was there too, smiling proudly. So if you're listening to this and feel afraid to speak English, remember Arjun. He wasn't born confident. He built it. Word by word, mistake by mistake. Don't wait for perfect. Just speak. Because your voice matters. And one day, someone will thank you for giving them the courage to try. End of story. Now, repeat and practice the key phrases from this video to build your confidence in speaking English.